Geh mal runter. Uwe says, we have to introduce people. We're sweating. This is Kiana.
Hi.
This is Uwe. I'm touching Uwe with my sweaty hands, but he loves that. We drove for 3 hours because I thought it's an hour to go to Hughes Kettner, which is Hughes Kettner, nicht Hudson Kettner. But you say it any way you want as long as you buy that stuff. So we're here where the magic happens in St. Wendel in Bumfuck, nowhere, Germany. It's a very sweaty day, but they still hang out with us, which is nice. Kiana, you know her. Uwe, that's the guy who wrote the book on Hughes Kettner. That's literally the guy who wrote the book on Hughes Kettner. Yes, that's something you say, but that actually is something that he did. Aren't you sweating with the...
No.
No?
No. I had so losing my hairs and it's better.
it's a stylistic choice. So they're gonna show us the digs, as they say in my hood. Did they say that in your hood?
No, not in mine. My hood isn't as cool as yours.
You know, if you want them to understand you, you either have to go very close to David, or
very close.
Come right here. No?
I'd rather go to David.
Yeah, of course you do. Sure. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
Damn young people. Okay, so what's happening here? Yeah, just you tell me. You want to come here later?
Yeah, we come here later back and then.
Okay, we come back later. We'll go this way.
For the interview, I would say let's talk in German because I kann nicht besser.
Okay, I can translate. No problem.
We can translate. We mix up. This is kind of sympathetic.
Yeah, we'll mix it up. We have a lot of German fans.
Yeah, sure.
Ihr komischen Deutschen, die den Channel gucken. But we have the English fans. Now the independent English, British. Can we say British? Because now you guys, can we talk to you without permission now? I don't know. Because, I don't know, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Especially today.
I think they can still watch the channel, right? Can you still watch stuff from mainland Europe? Probably not.
No, I don't
think
think
so.
No.
I think that's not allowed anymore.
You have to turn the video off now. I'm so sorry. No, you can. Just don't tell anyone. Make it. When someone comes in, pretend you're watching porn. But British porn. You know, keep it inside. That's what she said. Okay, so you tell us where to go.
Okay, first we start in the metal department. So
The metal department.
Heavy metal department.
That's our department, right?
Totally.
No, what?
Totally.
Ah,
yeah,
good.
yeah, that's our
The mic's right here.
Yeah, I'll just speak louder now.
It smells like metal down here. Metal!
Yeah.
The smell of metal.
Smells like metal.
It smells like metal. That sounds like a good album title. And that's the metal for the chassis. The chassis metal.
It's sharp.
Sharp.
Sharp edges.
Sharp metal.
Point your camera at things.
So just to explain, for me it's complicated in English. So
Ja, sag in Deutsch.
I broke something.
Das ist,
What did you break?
No, how do I zoom out? Okay.
don't touch the zoom button.
Or touch it when you're supposed to touch it. You know that's what she said. I have to. They're bitching if I don't say it. They're adding all the that's what she said on every occasion I miss.
I do like a button then.
That's what she said. That's what she said. We need a that's what she said button.
All right.
It's not a bad idea.
It's actually really good.
Yeah. In the studio, just hit it and then they know I'm supposed to say that's what she said.
Yeah.
Okay, Uwe, in German. Move.
Also was du hier siehst, ist unsere Metallverarbeitung. Hier werden zum Beispiel Formen ausgestanzt für Lüftungsbleche, für Chassisbleche, für Komponenten zu montieren. Dann gibt es hier Preview-Vorrichtungen. Ja, also das ist eine typische Metallproduktion.
Yeah. So what Uwe is saying that all the metal parts for the amps are being done here. Not just amps, I actually like, well, speakers too, because I was like, well, the only amp they're really making here is a Triumph Mark III, and so I'm thinking, why do they need metal production on this scale? Well, because they're speakers too. H&K speakers. And obviously you need serious metal parts for those, and it's all handled here. Kiana is filming some stuff, which is nice. Go.
das ist alles vollautomatisch zum größten Teil. Ne? Also,
So this is all done in-house.
ja. Das ist komplette Inhouse-Produktion. Auch von 3M, das ist natürlich alles hier.
Und die Speaker auch alle hier oder einige hier?
Du meinst die Komponenten für HK Audio?
Ja.
Jo, die
Okay.
genau.
Okay.
Also in aller Regel die Chassis für die Verstärkergehäuse, also die Endstufenmodule, die in den aktiven Lautsprechern verbaut sind, aber auch Frontgitter zum Beispiel.
Okay.
Sieht man auch hier.
Yeah, so stuff that you can see here that's produced here is, well, for you guitar players, maybe not super interesting, but the front grills for the speakers, which is something that you can see over here.
It's not just
So this is what he just showed you. This is all stuff that you can, that gets made in-house in good old Germany. And soon if you want to buy it in England, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but that's okay. 52% of you wanted that. I'm going to shut up about this now because I know my fans didn't vote for that. I know a lot of my fans didn't vote for that.
Ja, hier haben wir unsere Bestückungsautomaten stehen.
Bestückungsautomaten, that's of course a word I know in English, let me think. Putty little thingy in machine. That's the word, Bestückungsautomat.
What's the word?
This is another word for a man.
Putty little, well for you maybe. That's another word for a man. My kind of people.
He's good.
My kind of people, ja. Was wird denn hier bestückt?
Kondensatoren, Widerstände, also alle kleinen Bauteile,
Ah, okay.
die man mit einer Maschine bestücken kann und die, wo es zu aufwendig ist und auch viel zu anstrengend auf Dauer, die von Hand zu bestücken.
Ja, das von Hand, da muss man ja ganz kleine Hände haben.
Wir haben extra spezielle Mitarbeiterinnen mit kleinen Händen, weil einiges muss auch noch von Hand gemacht werden, das sehen wir dann auch gleich. Ja, und das ist, ich meine, das sind große Maschinen, das sind höchst komplexe Maschinen, da muss man auch Personal haben, das die wartet, haben wir auch im Haus.
Ist das, was man SMG nennt?
Nee, SMG ist
Ist wieder was anderes, gell?
hat nicht zwingend damit was zu tun.
Okay.
Das ist wenn es dann so ganz klein wird. Ne?
So what these machines do is they put things on green things. This is a technical term, okay? Follow me here. The machine puts little things on green stuff, and you can see all these little Kondensatoren, capacitors and transformers and little white things. And it's just too small to do it all by hand. Some stuff is done by hand. And I just asked Uwe if this is SMG technology. Tells you what I know, but it's not. It's somewhere in size in between SMG and big shit that you can do hand-wired. So again, done in good old Germany right here. Even though the drive felt like we're very, very far away. Very cool. I have no idea what I'm looking at, but
Was ist das für ein Teil? Weißt du es gerade? Das ist für ein Amp, also für einen PA-Verstärker.
Okay. This goes into some kind of PA thing, which we need because once we play guitar, we want that shit really loud.
Yeah.
Because our amps are not loud enough for the really. So this makes you even louder. That's it goes to 11 board. That's what that's called. That's what that's called. Vielen Dank.
Hast du gleich noch immer laufen oder? Guck mal, sie macht sie gerade an, da kann man noch kurz draufhalten.
Film that, that's cool.
Wenn jedes Bauteil sieht, ist hier einmal drin. Ne?
Wow.
Diese Spulen, es ist immer nur ein Wert dran drauf. Ne? Und die greift sich dann genau das, was laut Bahn braucht.
Das ist natürlich fein, also da muss natürlich die Maschine ganz fein arbeiten.
Ja.
Und das, wie du gesagt, das muss eingestellt werden.
Da haben wir
Wow.
einen Mitarbeiter, der betreut die Maschine selbst hier im Haus. Da kann die den Schlaf auch
Echt? Oh. Wow.
Das ist selbst in so einem Teil, da ist so eine kleine Mechanik drin. Schon sehr komplex.
Obviously, these machines take a lot of maintenance. I mean, once you realize that it's moving tiny parts along a thing and then has to place them in very specific points, a lot of maintenance. And these machines are probably not very cheap. If you're asking yourself, why do I have to fork over money for an amp? This is why.
Ich habe mich jetzt gerade
Sorry. David's making the really sad face because out here it's a lot warmer than in there. Those machines get all the good air conditioning air. Apparently, these people have figured out a very specific tour schedule. They know exactly where they're going. I'm thinking they've done this a million times.
Yeah.
If they've
Especially the elevator scene.
the elevator scene. The question is, if they've done it a million times, why the fuck did we have to drive for 3 hours in the heat here to do it again? Because I mean, there must be a million videos of the Hughes Kettner factory on YouTube. So why are we doing this?
Because we're awesome.
Because we're awesome. That's probably why. And probably because I think at some point they promised us Hughes Kettner cups, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Which we still don't have, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's weird.
So wait a bit.
You know what I got yesterday in the mail? Orange cups.
Oh.
I don't know.
They don't look as good.
They don't look as good. They don't look as good.
Okay,
Yeah?
well, we're not convinced yet.
Yeah, we're not. We need to see it for ourselves.
Yes.
Because how good do you think coffee would taste out of a Hughes Kettner
Exactly.
cup?
We need to compare the taste because
Yeah.
it'll taste totally
Wouldn't that be the most amazing amp comparison video? You compare the taste of coffee out
No.
of different cups from different companies.
You
Yes.
know the German saying, Orange ist die Farbe der Müllabfuhr.
Orange is the color of the
Garbage disposal.
garbage disposal collectors.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry for this.
I know. I mean, it's funny, but of course, orange amps are good, and they sound nothing like Hughes Kettner, and vice versa, obviously.
Yeah, you can use both.
Preferably both, actually. Why not?
Yeah.
So, wenn dann so Platine fertig bestückt ist, gibt's hier so einen Testadapter.
Here things are being tested, which is a good idea because you don't want your amp to, arrive broken.
Da kann man die Platine dann draufstecken, das geht also ganz schnell. Macht den Deckel runter und dann läuft so ein Messprogramm am Computer durch. Das
Checkt jedes Element.
Fast jedes Element wird gecheckt und auch so die Interaktion der Elemente. Also so einzelne kleine Schaltkreise werden gemessen und dann sieht man auch vorher schon, vor dem Einbauen, ob alles richtig funktioniert.
Okay.
Dann kann man auch sicher sein, wenn das Gerät dann komplett zusammengebaut ist, es geht.
So everything that actually goes into the amp gets tested here as if it's kind of in there. So once you put it in there, you know it's working. Which is, well, let me put it this way. I had 3 amps come from them and all 3 worked. That's not what they're doing here. Those amps don't come from here. But still, I would assume that they have similar strict testing conditions wherever those amps were made.
Ja.
Yeah.
Das haben wir schon vor Jahren eingeführt. Also das im Prinzip nach jedem Produktionsschritt einmal getestet wird. Ne? Also auch schon. Hallo.
Sorry.
Hi. Das ist gar kein Problem.
Hier werden größere Bauteile montiert, und hier wird auch schon so eine Art mechanische Vorproduktion gemacht. Also, wenn auf die Platten jetzt noch irgendwelche Blechwinkel drauf müssen, und das muss verschraubt werden, das wird alles hier gemacht. Also alles, was hier rausgeht, kann dann im Prinzip genauso wie es ist schon entweder in Amp oder in Holzgehäuse von einem Lautsprecher eingebaut werden. Das ist dann
fertig ist halt.
Ja. Wird aber hier am Ende des Prozesses auch nochmal komplett auf Funktion getestet.
Nochmal.
Nochmal.
So there's extra testing here. This is where they're putting together the parts, like, take some metal part, put it on another metal part, and the more rough assembly. Again, all done in good old Germany. And that stuff then goes into the final chassis. So this is final assembly -1, pre-final assembly.
For example, here, a part from the PA system.
So this then gets stuck on there.
It's lying on the left side of the test machine, so it's not tested, but it will be tested on Monday.
And then it gets tested again. They're very, very strict about their testing. That's that German precision. Also known as German analness, which is a good thing. Because when you buy something, you want to know it works. So you want to buy it from anal retentive people like us. Right, Kiana?
Right.
You're only half anal.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
you're only half German.
So now you will see one of the secrets of Hughes Kettner.
Hughes Kettner secrets.
Yep.
The special sauce.
Exciting.
You're not excited.
Of course I am.
Yeah.
Super excited. I just don't show it.
Ah, okay. That's funny. That's really funny. Show the really funny thing.
Ah, you know it, yeah.
Well, I don't know soccer,
You-
but I assume these are German
You can
soccer
find
players.
it, yeah. You can find it on our Facebook page.
That's pretty clever.
Go to the Hughes Kettner Facebook page, check it out.
Hier werden kleine Reparaturen durchgeführt, ne? Auch Servicearbeiten immer mal wieder. Aber hier steht vor allem das hier.
Das hat man ja schon mal gesehen.
Genau, das VTI.
This is something you guys have seen in pictures and that they brag with all the time, and they should, because it's a cool system.
Guck mal gerade, das ist nämlich im Moment nichts aufgesteckt.
This is where they make sure that the tubes that go into things are good tubes. That is my technical expertise. This is how far I can... Ooh, that's a lot of tubes.
Yeah, approved.
Cool. Would you miss one of those boxes if it was gone?
Yeah.
Damn it. Damn it.
So, hier kann man also, das kann komplett mit Endstufenröhren bestückt werden. Dann werden die erstmal aufgewärmt, ne? Und dann werden die unter realen Bedingungen, also so wie sie später auch unter Verstärker arbeiten, während sie laufen, auch mechanisch belastet. Ne? Das sind so Hämmerchen, da läuft dann so ein Programm
okay.
und der macht dann so. Kannst du gleich mal-
Kiana, try to get that, yeah.
Oder komm auf die Seite, dann kannst du es besser filmen.
You don't need me.
Ne? Und da läuft so ein Testprogramm durch und dann wird hier 30 Sekunden gehämmert.
Während die an ist.
Ja.
So they are serious about their testing shit because, I mean, come on. They're warming up the tubes in here, so you can pretty much test all different, well, here we see 34 6L6. We see different power amp tubes which get warmed up under realistic conditions like they would be in an amp. And for me, that would be enough. I know that the tube that goes into my amp actually has been tested. It's been warmed up. We know it works. They don't just go get a big box of tubes and go cluck, 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 done. They make sure they work, which is already a lot. But then they're beating the shit out of them. Which is, if it then still works, can that break it while you're doing it? If it does, then the tube wasn't good, right? Okay? So that's kind of like some metalhead banging, moshing on stage, slamming into your amp while you're playing. And with the Hughes Kettner amp and the Hughes Kettner certified tested tubes, you could know that some metalhead moshing, slamming into your amp will probably not end the gig. Is that correct? I mean, that happens, of course, all the time, right? All the time.
Und es hat noch zwei große Vorteile. Erstens mal kann man, ich meine, du hast ja Röhrenendstufen, die man als Duo kauft oder als Quartett, es sollen ja gematcht sein, ne? Also dass sie so irgendwie paarweise oder ein Quartett zusammenpassen. Das kann man mit der Maschine währenddessen nämlich machen. Und
Okay.
durch dieses Hämmern, wir sagen dazu, wir brennen die Röhre ein. Also es ist so, Röhren werden ja eigentlich nur in China und Russland gefertigt. Ne? Und wenn man in so einem Röhrenwerk war, das ist wie vor 100 Jahren. Das ist richtige schmutzige, vorindustrielle Handarbeit.
Okay.
So sieht es zumindest mal aus. Ich kann dir ein paar Fotos mal schicken. Und das heißt, in den Röhren, wenn das Vakuum dann später drin ist, ist immer auch ein bisschen Staub, Dreck, was auch immer.
Der wird dann quasi
Und durch
locker
diesen
gerüttelt und
Prozess,
verbrannt.
Genau, da wird das eingebrannt. Ne? Also die Röhre wird heiß und der Schmutz, der da drin ist, der bleibt dann irgendwo kleben und brennt sich dort fest. Und dann hast du später eine viel höhere Betriebssicherheit, als wenn du jetzt einfach so eine Röhre direkt aus dem Werk nehmen würdest.
Das muss man jetzt erst übersetzen. Okay, so Uwe just said, I mean, of course, every German, the question is how much do we actually pick up with the mics? We have several going on, we hope we have stuff, but Uwe said, and that's actually interesting, compared to everything else he said so far. But he said that they're burning them in, and that might not mean anything. But these tubes come primarily from China and Russia, and that's all fine. They do a good job. But he said these factories are more like caves. Kind of. I mean, it's a very basic process done by hand. There isn't a lot of cleanliness there like you would see here. So dirt particles get into the tubes. And we don't want that because then the vacuum gets created in there and we want it to be rather clean. So what happens by beating the shit out of the tube while it's hot, all those dirt particles get broken off and they actually can they get burned without air? I know nothing about physics. Kiana?
Yeah.
It's chemistry.
I know nothing about chemistry. Can the dirt particles burn without air present?
It's chemistry and blue magic.
Blue magic.
Oh, blue
Well, of course, blue magic happening right here. But then, of course, on a machine that is not blue at all. There's blue. Good. We're fine. We're good. Chair blue. Everything's fine.
Yep. Okay.
David's gonna regret at some point saying, I hold the camera, because you have to hold it for a long time and it's stressful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's alright. It's alright.
I know this guy.
Who is it? Oh, okay.
I know him.
He had hair,
the
not
gym.
like us.
It's not you. Oh, viel Spaß.
Those are probably empty.
Darn.
They wouldn't notice if a Mark III Triumph's missing.
It's all counted.
They got more than they need. It's not. They have this many, and I have this many. And in Europe, we share. Not in England. In Europe, we share. We're all a big family here. Kiana's moving away.
So, was du gesehen hast, also nach der Montage der Verstärker, jetzt beispielsweise hier, ne, Bayern, also in dem längeren Band stattfindet, und dem Testen der Röhren, was auf dem VTI-Gerät stattfindet, kriegt das Gerät nochmal einen Techniker, der dann das fertig zusammengebaute Chassis auch nochmal so komplett durchmisst und eventuell auch noch Einstellungen vornimmt, ne? Und praktisch dann uns ein Gerät hier in einem Custom-Shop liefert, das komplett einbaufertig ist.
Okay.
So. Bevor es dann aber hier steht, das ist jetzt unmittelbar vorm Einbau, geht es darüber. Das sieht jetzt relativ unspektakulär.
So more testing after the testing that has followed the testing. And final tweaking of the triple tested materials.
The half of the work here is testing anything. Das nennt sich Sogplatz. Und du siehst hier so ein Rohr mit so einer Leitung da oben verschwinden. Das geht runter in den Keller. Und im Keller, das zeige ich euch nachher auch noch, stehen 3 Sandboxen. Das sind riesig große Boxen mit so Doppelwandkonstruktionen. Die sind mit Sand gefüllt. Da stehen 4 12er-Boxen drin. Und hier hat es einen Trenntrafos, weil wir bauen ja Geräte in 100 Volt, 117 Volt, 230, 240 Volt. Ne? Die kann man dann hier anschließen, dann kann man ein Signal drauf geben, so ein Gitarrensignal. Und dann kann man die hier mal noch eine halbe Stunde oder eine Stunde im Volllastbetrieb laufen lassen. Um zu sehen, also noch bevor sie eingebaut werden ins Holzgehäuse, um zu sehen, macht er das jetzt auch alles, wie wir uns das vorgestellt haben. Ne?
Okay, so before the amp actually goes into the final chassis with all the blueness and the nice and stuff, it goes here, kind of like at my place. This is pretty much like at my place, just my place doesn't have a Triumph. It goes here into the basement into 412s, which are not to play like at my place where it would sound really nice. It's, I'm sorry, it's to see the first test really. Let's see if I can blow it up. Let's put it on a 412, crank it up, and see whether it can do it or if any of the tubes actually blow up. And that with different voltages, so that, you know, the one that goes to the US is also running at the right voltage. All this. I can say that I know a company that we're not going to talk about that to the show in Frankfurt brought amps that pretty much once you tune them up a little, turn them up a little bit too much, the tubes blew up. You know, and so you could see the tube was really bright red, and then bam, one of the power amp tubes went. And meaning they were not tested adequately. And hoping that this company will change that in the future. Not saying which company it was. You can make guesses. I will not confirm or deny anything. But it's not going to happen with an H&K amp. Question, the smaller amps, do they undergo similar testing in a factory far, far away? Ja?
Ja. Also wir bauen auch extra Testapparaturen, wie ich euch vorhin gezeigt habe, die zu unseren Partnern in Asien gehen, damit die genau nach den gleichen Prinzipien getestet und geprüft werden, wie wir das hier machen.
Okay.
Ne?
So the same principles apply in Asia. I'm gonna say China, but Asia, wherever this thing is, we don't care. They make sure, because they know how to build shit over there. They do. Okay, I've been there. They absolutely do. But it really helps if we say, well, but test it twice, test it 3 times, and that way we make sure that what comes out of China or Indonesia or wherever is up to the standards that they build here. Because they wouldn't sell you a Deluxe 20, Deluxe 40, Gigmeister, 36, whatever, if they couldn't vouch for the quality. After seeing this, they're gonna make sure that the Chinese stuff is as good.
Und wir machen auch immer mal wieder eine 100% Prüfung. Das heißt, wenn ein Container kommt mit 40ern und dann werden die alle geprüft. Und 450 Amps testen, kannst du dir vorstellen.
Shit.
Die werden dann auch wirklich, ich mache das dann auch.
Really?
Ich spiele die dann.
So when a container comes, sometimes they're just gonna make sure they're pretty much just checking on their friends over there and they're testing every single amp. So 450 amps? So Uwe, he's the poor guy who's got to test 450, let's say, Deluxe 40s. Do you have to take them out yourself?
No.
No, that someone's helping you.
Yeah.
Okay, because that would really suck. But I mean, testing 450 amps just to make sure that the quality is as strict as they want it. That's yeah. I would say I tip my hat to you guys, but I don't have one.
To unbox
maybe
450 amps. Can you imagine something better like this?
That would be one hell of an unboxing video.
Yeah.
You guys should put up a camera next
Yeah.
time that happens.
Okay.
And I play this for my fans in 20 speed.
Yeah.
The monster unboxing. If you do this, set up a GoPro or something, send me the video. And we're gonna make the monster H&K unboxing.
Yeah.
That would be
Monsters
interesting.
of Unboxing.
Monsters of Unboxing. The ultimate unboxing video.
Und du kannst dir auch sicher vorstellen, wenn hier jetzt 6 3-Amps stehen im Vollausbau, also es werden ja alle Endstufen-Parts geprüft und er hat ja dann 150 Watt, 6 x 150, unten im Keller 6 412er Boxen, dann wackelt hier der Boden.
Aber was geht denn dann da rein? Spielt es dann jemand oder?
Hier, das ist hier grau.
Wir hatten,
Ja,
also, okay.
Das ist so ein vorgefertigtes
Ja.
Rig, also auch was schön Dynamisches, also mit viel Twang.
Okay.
Das ist jetzt kein so Heavy Metal Geschrubbe, weil durch die Kompression, die du dann hast, bei einem verzerrten Sound, wird der Amp gar nicht mal so stark belastet. Das am allerschlimmsten sind eigentlich diese Clean Sounds. Ne? Das tut dem Amp richtig weh. Wenn er das überlebt,
Okay.
also es ist dann Country and Western. Ja.
Okay. So they're not testing it with they're testing it with more clean, very dynamic playing, because apparently that pushes the tubes a lot more than a compressed high gain signal, which I think one of the 17 channels of the Triumph Mark III can also do.
Yeah, sure.
How many channels does it have now?
600.
600 channels. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you seen one of these things?
600 channels, 7,000 tubes.
7,000
Yeah, that's
tubes.
fucking loud.
Wow.
Yeah.
That thing has different power amp tubes. It's got,
Sure.
I think, 6 channels.
6 channels.
Probably different voicing options too. Who knows? It's crazy. I don't know. Who would need something like this?
Yeah.
And I heard from our research department the next one will be delivered with an included nuclear power plant.
Wow. Well, we're trying to go less nuclear. Could it have like a wind turbine on top?
No. Water is the future,
Yeah, that's a good idea. Tubes, 150 watt, and water.
right?
You like stupid stuff, right? But imagine you're playing a nice metal concert, you've got a little wind turbine, and you just have to ask the whole crowd to blow.
What?
No.
No?
You asked the whole crowd to blow, yeah?
I would ask the whole crowd to blow
Yeah.
towards the, not to, no, you both are dirty. No, just, for me, the whole crowd would be 7 people, so I could play very quietly. But I mean, if you're like a bigger band and they're all like, and then the amp works, and then, no?
You can ask Steel Panther if the whole crowd
Steel
slows.
Panther would be blown by probably the whole crowd.
Yeah. Sure.
So you should actually sell that amp to Steel Panther.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna talk to Satchel soon.
You should. That guy knows how to play.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this. That's
Sure.
crazy shit. I'm like, what is the... Is this actually how the power amp tubes... Is this just for transport? The springs.
No. It's not just for transport, it's always.
They're just being held like this?
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah,
Just hold them from the top.
Yeah, there is no other fixing system instead that.
Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
No one else does that.
It looks a little bit like so.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 preamp tubes.
Steampunk like.
And a lot of knobs that you can't read. But hey, that's their choice. I'm just saying, you know, I would like to be able to read them from a little bit further away, but looks cool. It looks cool. Okay.
Yeah, the manual is pretty big, 600 pages.
600. Yeah, right.
No.
So, und hier, das sieht ganz unspektakulär aus. Ist es eigentlich auch. Hier wird die Scheibe vorbereitet mit der Rampe. Ne? Und dann später die Scheibe aufs Chassis montiert und alles zusammen in ein Holzgehäuse eingebaut.
This is the absolutely final assembly and the very, very magical front plate, which is simple. It's a piece of plexiglass with etched letters, which once the light actually hits them, they seem to light up magically blue. Whereas in reality, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little LEDs that's lighting up the whole thing.
That's it, now you know.
That's it. I still don't understand how it can light up so beautifully with...
This is physics.
Yeah, I don't... You see, what I do for a living is this. And I drink coffee. So I don't know physics. But that is cool.
But it's no wonder. What have you done in school?
Yeah.
I always tell Kiana, don't go to school too much, because I did extremely well by not going and not doing anything. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, physics. I was good at physics, and then at one point, just like all the other subjects. But hey, all these people that did incredibly well in school and know physics, are you being invited to Hughes Kettner to do a factory tour? No, you're not. No, you're not. I am. And I know nothing about physics or math or genomography. Any of these things. I know the English and I know how to go la 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 la. Hey, okay. I'm here, you're not. Awesome.
And if you haven't geschwänzt the school, what's the word for geschwänzt?
If you didn't skip class.
To skip class, and in this time you were rehearsing guitar.
I was practicing, yeah.
Then you were the perfect man for the last part of the production. It's the final sound test.
There's another test, you know.
And another test
that
again.
we made in this Folterkammer.
The torture room. This is where you live.
This is where I live and where I started here in the company.
In this room.
Not in
Yeah,
this
there was a
room.
band.
I was just because
I started in the 90s in the other building.
Was it nicer then? Because that room is.
It was bigger. It was not only bigger. You could smoke at work.
See, I wouldn't really care about that, but
They were the wild 90s, you know.
yeah, then smoke in a small room, hell yeah. So who's the poor guy who's got to test them now? Still you?
Sometimes me, sometimes Mario. Yeah.
And every amp gets played?
Every amp.
Every amp gets played?
Every amp.
For how long?
Half an hour around.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I do all my rehearsals for the band. Do I here at work?
So every Triumph Mark III gets placed there and gets put through the 412 and played for half an hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's fun. And it must...
Is it always fun? Does it always stay fun?
No.
No.
After 4-5 hours, you suck up. It's too much.
But I mean, you don't have the same licks that you play. You have clean channel. You don't play the same thing because you said you're rehearsing songs. So
for 1 hour you are rehearsing, and then you are playing anything, any shit.
as long as something comes. Okay. Well, see, guys, if you dream of being an amp tester, talk to this guy, because it's probably a dream job, but sometimes it's not. If you dream of being a YouTube gear guy, it's way cool because you get to hang out with Kiana. It's way cool because Hughes and Kettner sends you amps that are way cool when everything comes together and you put a tube screamer in front of it and then and it's awesome. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta sit in the car for 3 hours and sweat. Sometimes you gotta spend 4 days at the Musikmesse in Frankfurt and you can't talk anymore. Sometimes you gotta test stuff that's really not that great and you gotta find that one tiny bit that's good and try to say that and still make the company happy, but be honest to you guys. So some days it's a job. Anything. You don't know about this because you go to school. So for you, life's
lazy.
just...
I'm lazy and stuff, right?
For you, life is just pink fluffy unicorns.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. The test room.
Awesome.
Wow. And now I see why they wanted me to bring the Hartung, because they have vintage guitars, which are nice, but they're not this.
And after that, the last part of the show is
Putting it in the box,
Yep.
putting my address on it, and sending it my way. That's the last part of the puzzle, right?
okay. I need your address and
See, that's what you. I knew you were gonna go there. That was the last part of the puzzle, because you were wondering how can we get the Triumph into Henning's place. We had no idea.
then I give you my address for the shack.
Yeah.
About that, right?
Yeah, without the me paying. Well, I could see myself paying something for it because it's pretty. Really, it's just for me, when I was Kiana's age, this much older, I think the first Triumph came out back then. When did it come out? You would know. You wrote the book on it.
92.
92. I played guitar for 2 years. Yes, and I was 17, and that was the thing. There was like I got an Engel Savage 120, and then there was the Triumph, and there were very few amps that had so many options and all these channels, and that was simply one of the things that you desired as a guitar player. That was just the pinnacle, the emperor of amps, and it still is when it comes to multi-channel amps. You can spend more money on it than you spend on a Triumph on something like a Friedman with one channel. Phil X is, I think, $3,500. It's a one-channel amp, and it probably does something the Triumph doesn't do. But the Triumph does at least 6 things that the Phil X amp can do. So if you're looking for something super flexible, I mean, this is the best there is. I assume, and I think we'll play it a little bit later.
Sure.
But for me, whether I would play this or not, just having it on the shelf with all the colors, it would kind of be. I'm not exaggerating. Like this was always like for years you saw as the thing, you know, and that's. Now it's like I've got amps coming every day, but still it's like, yeah, you know, that's one of those things where you go, okay. Okay, we're good now. And I'm standing in the middle of Triumph. It's like for a drug addict standing in the middle of a coca field. That's exactly what this is like. Okay, or a sex addict standing, I don't know, where there's lots of sex. I have no idea.
You wouldn't know that. You're innocent.
I'm very innocent. Shut your trap. I guess we started here, we're closing here. We're gonna let you go for now, but there's gonna be more videos that we film. We have to let David's hand go because he's like, "Ugh!" Well, thanks for watching. Watch more from the Hughes and Kettner factory tour. We're gonna hopefully play a Triumph. Let Kiana play, she wants that.
We are near the French border here, you know,
And another pronounce to Hughes Kettner is Hughes Kettner.
Hughes Kettner, oh, that's beautiful. Hughes Kettner. Ah, c'est très joli avec le peu de bleu, ah, la Tour Eiffel, là, maintenant, avec l'autoroute, le Hughes Kettner.
Hughes Kettner rempli avec la lampe.
Amplifier with a lamp.
Yeah.
Ah, I speak fluent French. Jerome Mendes is going to comment his ass off on that. I think he's French. I'm so sorry for all my French viewers for insulting your language, which is a beautiful language. I've got many friends in Paris, been there many, many times. Ich bin ein Pariser. So that's not funny to anyone who's not German. Anyway, we're gonna let you go. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.